Raegan's going to talk about the impact of AI in the channel business. I'm going to step off stage and pop back on at the end just to kind of impartnerize it a little bit. So take it away, Raegan.
Thank you, Dave. I'm privileged to be here to talk about a subject I know very little about. So where are my AI experts in the room? They're all here, right? Oh, right. Awesome. Great. So come on up. You can take my spot. I'm going to sit down there and I'm going to learn from you. No, I'm kidding. I'm super excited to be here. As Dave mentioned, I'm ex-Impartner. I spent about 6.5 years as the director of sales at Impartner, running all things. A lot of customers here are mine from the good old days. And now I run our ecosystem consulting team at Spur Reply. And that's comprised of multiple teams, from our tech engineering team to our channel strategy and transformation team to our channel automation team, which is here with me today, just part of them. But I'm excited to talk to you about AI and how you can look at it from a channel leader's standpoint. So we're all facing the same problem, the same dilemma today, which is we're being asked to do more with less. We have fewer resources, tighter budgets, and a constant pressure to drive sustained growth while facing stronger competition in more areas of the market than ever. Before, I was actually talking last night with someone who's here that just had their entire channel team decimated. So the struggle is real. At the top of everyone's mind right now is AI the answer to the question? Is it the solution to the problem? And while it can be an answer to that question and to so many more when you look at it as more than just a productivity tool, what is fundamentally exciting about AI is the potential that it has to transform our lived experiences, the customer experience, the partner experience, the employee experience. So funny hearing Tiffany speak today. I thought, man, that segues so well into what I'm going to talk about AI today. I mean, it is really all about experience. And each of those three experiences is going to look vastly different as we move into the future. And in 5 years, it's all going to change. Customers are going to buy differently. Partners are going to engage and access your content differently and interact with your programs differently. Your employees are going to shift how they perform their jobs. By and large, that change is not going to happen organically. As channel leaders, you have the opportunity to get in front of the changing landscape and start making the decisions and the necessary investments that are going to position you to take advantage of this rapidly evolving technological landscape. Companies that do this successfully will corner their markets. And companies that lag behind, well, they're going to become this generation's BlackBerry. It is all about experience. So I like to think of the impact of AI as similar to the Industrial Revolution. The Industrial Revolution replaced physical manpower with mechanical power. Machinery created huge productivity gains for companies, allowing the mass production of products at a scale that was never possible before. This time around, AI is now augmenting brain power with computational power. And people are going to be able to see how they can actually do more, because much of the time-consuming activities are going to now be done by computational AI. Critically, AI does not remove people from the equation. So none of our jobs are going away, but they might be optimized. And honestly, if your job can be done by AI, probably ought to be thinking about up-leveling your level of work. Our interactions, particularly with customers and partners, may look fundamentally different, but they'll still be guided by behind the scenes by human interaction. And that's just simply moving up the value chain. So where this is really meaningful for companies in the long term is that it's going to transform the buying cycle and shift the way that people think about how they source products. So the typical sales stages today are awareness, engagement, consideration, and decision, right? We're all familiar with that. And today, people are using ads, Google, media to generate awareness. They're using their websites, ad campaigns, interactive capabilities to help build engagement. And then humans compare that information and their findings. Customers look at review sites. We heard Impartner mention G2. They compare what they have. They look at apps. And then when they buy, they often use people and involve them, or they're doing it online via e-commerce. This process is fundamentally beginning to change, and we're seeing it. AI is being used as a way of gathering information rather than reviewing websites from a Google search. Customers are interacting with chatbots to request comparisons and reviews. The chatbot interaction can fundamentally change how a buying cycle is conducted. The truth of the matter is that the experience today is not completely dialed in. Let's be honest, it's not perfect. And most consumers know that the information that they might get from these chatbots still needs to be manually checked and validated and reviewed. But given the speed at which technology is advancing, it's not going to take long before that changes. Don't define the future by the limitations of today. These gaps are being closed very, very quickly. As go-to-market leaders, we need to think about how we're going to enable our companies to use AI to improve what's going on with the customer journey and the partner journey, and avoid being caught flat-footed in a few years. No one wants to be BlackBerry. If BlackBerry's here, I'm sorry. Admittedly, it's unlikely that you'll be able to make something that's going to be revolutionary today. So that, just set the expectation. It's okay. But you'll want to set yourself up and your teams up now with the foundation that will allow you to take advantage of these tools and technologies as they advance. It's like cloud computing. It's going to be a race to the finish line, and whoever gets there first is going to have an advantage in the market. So let's talk a little bit about what we can do today. As we all know, AI adoption is rapid and pervasive. And to give you an idea and put the speed of that into perspective, it took Netflix 10 years to reach 1 billion users. And I think most of us in this room remember the rise of Netflix. The death of Blockbuster was a pretty fast follow, right? But it only took ChatGPT 6 months to reach 10 billion users. Granted, it's free. But to put that in perspective, 6 months versus 10 years, it's a pretty big difference. And when you look at the capabilities that that kind of growth rate has, it clearly indicates the possibilities of generative AI and that they've captivated our attention. And we're all hearing it in our day-to-day. CEOs want to know how to enable AI, everything can be enabled by it. CFOs want to know how it can shrink their bottom line. And CIOs are saying, how secure is it? But what does that actually mean? How do you start to approach the problem of where and how does it make sense to actually invest? Well, you need to remember that AI, like everything else, starts with a tech stack. The bottom layer of the tech stack is data. This is the information that all large language models are built on. Generally speaking, these language models are built on the public domain, so public information. You as channel leaders have access to an entire proprietary set of data that, combined with the public domain information, to lay a specific foundation for your use of AI technology. And your AI strategy won't go anywhere unless you start with a strong data foundation, data strategy, and data governance. The second area is AI infrastructure. Right now, the technology is expensive and difficult to acquire, but that could change in the future. As channel leaders, you're going to have to be thoughtful and intentional about the paths you choose to go down and how you evaluate out of the box versus custom solutions. Given the pace of advancement, it is key to select solutions that are scalable and flexible so that they can meet the demands you'll have tomorrow, in 6 months, and in 5 years. Built on that infrastructure are the foundational models that really power a lot of the current hype around AI, specifically the large language models, like ChatGPT. It's important to note that everyone is trying to figure out how they can empower their business with AI, covering everything from your Microsoft Office suite to Einstein and Salesforce. But AI isn't limited to large language models or to chatbots. But this is where we think a primary use case could be for the channel. So that's where we're going to focus next. To make AI functional for the everyday users, companies are building a variety of apps on top of these models. So now you see the apps up there. They're being segmented into closed enterprise versions that allow you to leverage third-party infrastructure with your proprietary data to really create a model that's trained on your business and your context, and that can provide accurate information to your teams to help them be more effective. So let's hone in on the application use case here that I think will demonstrate the value of AI and how it might apply to your business specifically, and the case of autonomous agents, otherwise known as chatbots. So autonomous agents are essentially an enhanced query and answer engine that can drive incredible efficiency for your teams. For example, imagine a chatbot feature inside your partner portal that could allow your partner to ask questions about their next best action, and then it could specifically spit back out to them the next steps that they needed to take, right? Similarly, an agent might sit within your CRM system to help your sales team identify opportunities within an account-based model based on the data that you've trained it on. Even in a future world, you could even ask an autonomous agent to complete a complex task for you. So let's say, please draft me an email to partner X referencing their program status and what the next best action is on opportunity Y so that they can hit the revenue target. So this is fundamentally going to change the way partner experience, customer experience, and employee experience function. But this all means that your role in the channel means you need to be considering today where your business is going and what you need to take advantage of in these technologies to really advance from here to 6 months to 3 years. What decisions make the most sense about where you're developing solutions? Are you ensuring that you have the right APIs in place? Is your data strategy dialed in? Is your data foundation solid enough to put one of these models on top of? Is it good enough to train a large language model around? Do you have all the inputs that you require? It's like the move to cloud computing. This is going to be a fundamental shift in how technology is delivered. But in this case, it's going to be a fundamental shift in how the experience is delivered. Now, it took several years for the industry and customers to make the transition from legacy to cloud. And I'd anticipate the adoption of AI will be significantly faster, just like the transition to ChatGPT outpaced Netflix. But each new breakthrough, as it hits the market, is going to accelerate that. So I want to do a little demo for you. Are any of you familiar with Pi? I know a few of you are because we've talked about it before. Okay, so Pi is this cool app. I'm going to pull it up here. It's an AI app, and I like to play with it, so I'm going to ask it some questions. Hey, Pi, how are you doing today?
Hey there, I'm doing great today. Thanks for asking. What's on your mind today? Anything I can help you with?
Well, Pi, I'm sitting here in a room full of channel executives, and we're talking about AI. What do you think the most important things are for this audience to know about what they can do with AI?
Wow, sounds like an important conversation. Here are a few key things to keep in mind about AI and its applications for business. 1. Personalization. AI can help you better understand your customers and then tailor your offerings to them based on their behavior and preferences. 2. Automation. AI can automate a lot of manual processes, from customer service to data entry, allowing you to save time and money and increase efficiency. 3. Decision making. AI can provide valuable insights into your business, such as predicting customer behavior or identifying areas for improvement, which can help you make smarter decisions. 4. Customer experience. AI can improve customer experience by enabling faster response times, personalized product recommendations, and more seamless interactions with your brand. I hope this helps spark some ideas.
Wow, Pi, that was really helpful. Do you have one key tip for my channel chiefs in the room about AI?
Absolutely. My key tip would be embrace AI as a tool to enhance human intelligence, not replace it. Remember, AI is not meant to replace human judgment and creativity. Instead, it should be used as a tool to augment human capabilities. Think of AI as a partner, not a competitor, that can help you make better, more informed decisions and provide a better experience for your customers.
So that's Pi. If you don't know about it, use it. So actually, I have someone in the room that we were doing a little discussion about AI with, and I got an email from them, I won't say who, a few weeks later, and she said, "I'm so glad you told me about Pi. I used it to help me write a hard email. I uploaded several of my old emails, and I had it go through those emails and listen for tone. And then I gave it the information that I wanted to send, and I had it help me rewrite it to actually fit the scenario that I was in. I went back and forth a few times and shipped off the email, and it was perfect." So there's several different ways you can plug in things like Pi or ChatGPT. Personally, I think Pi is super fun because you can play around with it, it talks back to you, but it also documents all the things that it's saying. So if you wanted to take that and copy and paste it into something, you can use that way as well. So just one little interesting way of leveraging AI, just using Pi. So I'm going to throw up a quote by Bill Gates. He said, "The technology will be so profound that it will radically alter user behaviors. Whoever wins the personal agent, that's the big thing, because you will never go to a search site again. You will never go to a productivity site, or you will never go to Amazon again." So how do we get there, right? It's not a race, it's baby steps. We have to get it right. And so when I think of where to start, I think of three different areas. I think of generative AI, what we call process AI, and analytical AI. So most of you are probably pretty familiar with generative AI. These are your GPT-type offerings that are creating content. Process AI is really about automating processes and reducing the number of steps that it takes and requires human interaction. Then analytical AI is basically number crunching to provide insights around that data. So from there, you pick where you want to start. Which of those three categories do you think is going to give you the most or be maybe the easiest place to step your toe into? And I'm going to give you three different use cases across each of those areas. And I'm going to start first with generative AI. So what I've done is I've come up with three different use cases that I think fit the audience that we have here at ImpartnerCon. The first one is automated content generation. There's one thing that I've heard across my career in channel and my career in consulting is we don't have partnerized content, or it takes us too long to get content translated, or it takes us too long to get partner campaigns out the door. So this is an easy place in which you could plug in a GPT type of tool in generative AI to help you generate the content, or even take existing content and partnerize it. Take content that you have for partners and maybe have the AI turn it into something specific to a vertical market or an industry, or have it replace how it's set up to represent your company to focus more on the partner's company. So GPT-type tools can help you with that. The second one is customized partner campaigns. So think about taking a campaign and having it run different iterations on it. Again, leveraging a vertical market or a specific target audience, or even making it sound like it's coming more from the partner's perspective versus you as a vendor. It's another awesome one. Another cool one for that would be to have it localize it for you. So how many of you do things in globally, right? And how hard is translation for you? Super hard, right? You've got to spend all this time, take it to a translation house, spend a ton of money on it. This is a place where you could easily plug in, save yourself a bunch of time, get it probably to 90%, then throw it over to your local reviewers and have them just double check it and then ship that content out. The third use case is probably a little bit harder to build, but I think we're gonna get there. And that would be like, think of a CAM or an SE chatbot within your partner portal. So partner logs into the portal, they then see the little chatbot pop up and it says, do you want to talk to the CAM or do you want to talk to an SE? So the CAM might be the one that is talking to you about the program and guiding you through how to do a deal registration, or telling you where to go for training. Or the SE bot might be the one telling you about the technical elements of the platform or your offering and how to put together a complex solution. So those are 3 generative AI ideas. On the process AI side, I've got 3 other ideas. So think of your partner onboarding and compliance. What could you do if you had processes in place leveraging AI to help you smooth that out? So it's looking constantly at what's coming into your program, what aligns with the programmatical elements, and it's bubbling up for you those partners that you need to look at that are maybe over compliance or under compliance or only need to turn a few dials to get there, but it's helping your CAMs and your PAMs identify those gaps. The next use case is partner next best actions. This would be leveraging the AI to help you determine what those processes are based on it consuming the data to see what has worked in the past. So the AI is working in the background to say, step A, B, and C is producing the best result, and so now we want to guide partners on the journey to do A, B, and C so that they can produce the most efficient results. The third use case I have is partner experience analysis and improvement. So if you think about setting AI on top of your partner experience, it could be looking for drop-offs on pages, it could be looking at areas that are taking partners too long, it could be looking at data that's never actually used within your program that you might be able to streamline or flatten to minimize the effort that a partner has to do and really do what we all want, which is make it easier for partners to do business with us. The third area is analytical AI. So this is where we're thinking about partner scoring and segmentation. We're thinking about partner sales forecasting and partner capacity planning. All those really fun things that take a lot of numbers and data. This is where AI could step in and help you really look at all the data, analyze it, and spit it out in a format that would help you really make the right decisions and determine which partners to put where, and maybe even drive where your program is going in the future because it's really based and grounded in real data. So those are the kind of the 3 categories: generative AI, process AI, and analytical AI, and then the use cases I think could help anyone in this audience maybe pick a starting point. Now I know Dave has some ideas about what Impartner is doing, so I'd love to bring him up on stage and have him talk for a few minutes about where Impartner's headed when it comes to AI.
Yeah, thanks, Raegan. Raegan was so generous to give us just a few minutes to talk through kind of how this, the concept of AI has kind of worked its way into our product portfolio. I've got a few areas that I'll talk to you about. Really, actually, 4 kind of key pieces that I think you'll be interested in. In the generative AI space, obviously, we strongly recommend that you use AI to augment your own content creation capabilities, use it to build personalized, customized programs. We've got a great partner marketing automation platform that can run them for you. But the segmentation that we do, regardless of whether you segment on precious metals or points or however you do your segmentation, segmentation is the process of applying the appropriate resources to the right group of people that will benefit from those resources. And we've had Segment AI as a product in our Impartner PRM for at least a year, maybe a couple years now, as a tool to help kind of automate that process. You set parameters and the parameters are changeable based on what it learns as it goes, and it applies your program content to the right group of people that will benefit most from that content. Segment AI is a pretty straightforward, I'll arm wrestle you over whether it's real AI or just good machine learning engine, but it is something that we think helps you kind of customize and tailor your program. Under Process AI, we have a couple of products that I think you may be very interested in. First of all, we have an exclusive product called Google Ads for the Channel. It's in our category that we call paid media for partners. So it's a process that lets you and your organization provide to your partners a platform to run their own Google Ads campaigns cooperatively with you as a vendor. I'm going to show a process here for that in just a second. So keep that one in mind. Google Ads for the Channel uses an AI tool called Amanda AI. Then the last two that we'll talk about, and again, I've got some information that I'll give on that just real quick, our Analytics Studio and our Orchestration Studio. I'll tell you why we feel so strongly about those two. I heard Raegan say a minute ago that the basis of good AI is a huge amount of data to process your way through. The more it can learn, I think this is why ChatGPT is getting in trouble with authors and film and music producers, because it's working its way through these vast catalogs of data, building a big data engine. And big data learning means it's learning from all the stuff that you wrote. And so our Orchestration Studio is the integration platform that lets you bring a lot of tools together so that the data from all of your tools, your incentives platforms, your NDF platforms, et cetera, can all exist in one common data set that your AI engines can learn from. Analytics Studio takes that data set and shows you some very specific key learnings that it's drawn from that. It gets out of the descriptive space and moves more into the predictive and prescriptive space based on what it's learning. So let's just pop up a couple slides. So the Google Ads for the Channel, it's built around an awesome AI engine. It lets it tailors your campaigns in a way that you probably wish your own marketing teams could tailor, because it's making millions of calculations around what's working at what time of day and in what audience, and it's constantly updating the parameters of your ad campaigns. Now, if you were using that as a tool to drive your company's own Google campaigns, it would be good. What makes it great is the fact that it also allows your partners to participate in those campaigns without bidding against your keywords. So it's possible to separate demand for all of your partners that are participating in your Google campaigns or your paid media campaigns, LinkedIn, Google, et cetera. And it does that by either geofencing or time fencing, and it slices the incoming demand across the partners that have agreed to opt into your campaign. Powerful tool. I don't want to take all of the time talking about it. We have it running outside. We've got here on the front row a couple of experts that can talk you through it. It is a tool that really has had a huge appeal in manufacturing sectors. We've got a lot of customers that use this that are manufacturing companies. So check into this, Google Ads for the Channel, part of our paid media for partners platform. I think you'll really like it. I put a couple screenshots here that you probably won't be able to see very well, but I did want to just show you what we're talking about with the analytics library. So the Analytics Studio looks at data consumption in an intelligent way across your partner types. And it has the ability to let you know, based on customer type, deal type, vertical market, type of asset, et cetera, it lets you know, it makes recommendations to you around, hey, you've got an incoming opportunity at such and such company in such and such geography that's this type of vertical market. We recommend the following pieces of content to kind of help with that. So that asset performance is part of the Analytics Studio we have that kind of helps, again, be prescriptive about how you should allocate your assets. This is very interesting also from the Analytics Studio, where, and by the way, I would love to have you out here and show you a demo kind of how this works, but you drag and drop the tiles in that you want to build your analytics around. And here I'm doing a pipeline stage analysis based on my partner community, the customer type, et cetera. So Analytics Studio, great tool that helps you kind of chew your way through your data. This is our Orchestration Studio. It's a drag and drop integration tool. And once again, as Raegan mentioned, I think really integration, if you're building a set of tools in your environment to deal with a lot of different types of ecosystem players, you're either building silos of information that don't help anybody, or you're building on a platform that provides cross tool integration that lets us aggregate all of the information coming in from those modules into a single data lake that your AI engines can work through. Orchestration Studio, we think, is very, very important. And then finally, I'm giving a couple examples here of how we've dragged and dropped some simple orchestrations or integrations together for you. So give us a chance. We'd love to show you that. But Raegan's going to wrap up with how Spur can kind of help you down the path. Thanks, Raegan.
Well, thank you, Dave. I love that Impartner's already thinking ahead, and this is why you work with these vendors and get an idea of what their roadmaps are, see if you can get into beta things that they're doing. But I want to kind of wrap up with a few truths and misconceptions. There's a lot of beliefs around AI, so let me just kind of level the playing field here. One, AI can most definitely improve your channel management. It can improve your relationships. It can automate tasks and improve your forecast. But it absolutely, if you take one thing away from this thing today, is that it requires human oversight. Like, you can't do it without it, or you could have problems. It's not a magic solution, unfortunately, or fortunately, maybe. And you're also going to have to do a lot of hard work, but it doesn't replace human expertise. It just supplements it. And that isn't always, it's not always expensive, and it's not always complex. As you heard, Impartner's already doing things. You can leverage GPT-type tools. You can leverage Pi to just up-level what you're doing today, because there's a lot of free tools. And if they're not free, they're pretty inexpensive. So this isn't a huge investment in terms of capital, but it is a large investment in terms of focus and determining what you're really trying to do. It's not generally very complicated. The tools are already built around the natural language and process. So it's not overly complex, but it's not perfect, and it can be problematic. So keep in mind that there's inaccuracies, as Dave mentioned, like, it's going out there, it's searching everything. Sometimes AI makes stuff up. So you've got to make sure that you're training it on the right data if you're doing something internally and not just using the public domain to source things. So you want to make sure that when someone asks the AI engine that you've built, what's the best solution, that it doesn't promote your competition. And that's really the difference between the public domain and the private AI. So let's talk about what you can do right now. How do you get started? First off, you start with a few basic use cases. I gave you a few. Think small initially, low investment, prove it out, see what can be successful, and that will set you up for larger implementations. Second, look at your existing tool sets. Do these vendors have AI roadmaps? Is there functionality that you can get ahead of and maybe get into? What do you need to do to be able to take advantage of it? Like, do you have to have your data in a certain order? Do you need a data lake? Should you be thinking forward about what you need to do with your data models? 3, think about how AI can redefine your existing processes. Where can it easily automate a routine or a low-value task? 4th, establish a 30, 90, 180-day plan to drive success. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So if you start thinking about where you want to go and taking those baby steps towards it, your plan will come to fruition. And then 5th, ask those around you. Ask your peers, ask your vendors, ask on LinkedIn, ask in your groups, what are other people doing? What tools are they using? What are they finding success with? You don't have to be the expert, but there's people that are dabbling. Let's go learn from them. So with that, I want to tell you a little bit about how we help our clients with AI. So Spur provides a broad spectrum of AI services, really tailored to client needs, from out-of-the-box configuration to custom development. We bring deep business and technological expertise to each project to maximize impact, offering practical, targeted solutions to help you see results faster And I have a few members of our automation team here, just one of our many teams at Spur Reply. So come say hi. I see a few of them in the room. You guys want to stand up and just give a wave? Stand up. Thanks, guys. But we can help you in a few different ways. So one, going back to figuring out what those most strategic use cases might be that will really help you maximize the ROI around your AI. Two, knowing how important that data layer is for many of the AI use cases. Spur can help you with your system architecture and your data infrastructure to really help determine long-term success. In addition, we can provide actionable insights to help you make more data-driven decisions. To sum it up, we're here to help. And honestly, we've been close to AI since 2018, when we started helping Microsoft with their AI business school. And we've been working with them since 2018 on that. So with that, I'm gonna leave you with a dad joke. What do you call a large language model that can't understand humor? A literal AI. So with that, I'll open it up for questions, if there are any. And I'll do my best to answer them. Yes, no questions. All right, well, I thank you for your time today. Again, we're here all week. Come stop by. Spur's in charge of health checks tomorrow. We still have a few open slots, so if you want to swing by and visit us on the 4th floor, we're here for you. Thank you.